So an architect and an urban planner decided to buy a house in the country.
Indeed. And it changed their lives completely. Look, you got to know what happened just a second ago.
We were singing. But they'll never hear it, so don't worry about it.
You could do it a reprise right now.
She's got a great voice. I've never heard that. We were doing a duet. You have the better voice.
Okay, forget
back to the architect.
Go to the story, Barbara.
They went to the country.
They went to the country, and it changed their lives. It did. And although this man is still an architect, and that's what Peter was supposed to tell you, and urban planner, most of his time is spent in a very different way these days. Instead of watching buildings rise, he's getting up with the sunrise in a place very different from the urban areas he started out in. Home now is a site that had town. A stone's throw from the site where Custer fought the Civil War Battle of Tom's Brook, tucked neatly in the fertile fields of the Shenandoah Valley, is a house with a history. When it was built in the mid-1700s, it was a stagecoach stop with food and rest for the weary. In 1864, it became a hospital for the Civil War's wounded. Today, the paths around the old house are trod not by travelers or soldiers, but by goats. Richard Thornton lives here. As an architect, he chose the property for its history. As a cheesemaker, he settled here because it was a perfect place to raise goats.
The land we're on is slightly less than 60 acres. It's composed of bottomlands, woods, rolling pastures, and meadows. At this moment, we have about 150 goats.
Richard Thornton and his wife came to the Shenandoah Valley after starting a goat milk creamery in North Carolina. It all began when they bought some land that needed clearing.
Someone suggested getting goats to clear it out, and we got 5 goats, young goats and a mama goat. Started drinking the milk. Then we visited the Carl Sandburg historic site. It's his home at Connemara near Asheville. And Mr. and Mrs. Sandburg had a large goat dairy there from the 1940s through the time of her death. And she became internationally famous for goat breeding. We became very interested in the potential of goat products for the United States. At that time, there really were none for sale anywhere.
They took a course at Cornell, read and experimented, and soon their cheese-making venture prospered. Realizing most of the upscale markets for specialty cheese were closer to New York or Washington, they decided to concentrate on the latter and moved their operation to Virginia. Using the French word for goat cheese, although their process is more
When we have enough milk to run a batch of cheese, then it's pumped in stainless steel and a special plastic tubing into the processing room, where the milk is heated to 151 degrees for 30 minutes. This is a process known as pasteurization. And once the milk is pasteurized, it's cooled down to varying temperatures depending on what type of cheese we make. We add a bacterial culture. In our case, it's often a mixture of 5, 6, 7 different bacteria that through the years we developed as our own formulas.
They've developed cheeses of many different tastes and textures. The turnout at this time of year, he says, is not nearly as great as it will be late in the fall, when more kids will be born and more milk available from their mothers. Over these foot-worn paths, many a soldier and traveler have trod. But before Richard Thornton came, none of those prints left in the dirt here were those of a herd of goats. The Shenandoah Chevre is available at specialty stores around our hometown. He says the goats have gotten a bad rap over the years, and he wanted me to clear that up. They are neither dirty nor dumb, and I found that out. I mean, it really is true. From the farm to the grocery store, later on, Lee Thompson is looking out for you and will help you read between the lines at the supermarket. She's up in the newsroom right now and has a preview. Lee?
Thanks, Barbara. You know, those labels say environmentally safe, green.
Down on Soldier Field, don't miss this one. It's the real deal.
Australian fencing, a new creamery, and a new 4-stall horse stable. Negotiations for historic protection are currently in process. Carefully restored and expanded by the owner-architect, the original home was used as a Civil War hospital and a coach stop during colonial times. The dining room is a tribute to the refined architecture and patriotism of the period. A Civil War soldier carved the date in the wood floor, and it remains there today. Originally built in the 1700s, this three-bedroom home is defined by the lavish trim work and cabinetry of the era. First used as the home's summer kitchen, this cozy den is touched by the history of the stone fireplace and authentic irons. Today, the home's kitchen is a fabulous medley of state-of-the-art conveniences, ceramic tile countertops, and extensive oak cabinetry. Visit the Thornton Farm this afternoon. Call Jan Albritton and Marty Harding at 1-800-296-8560.
On a corner...